Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely day. It is quite a dreary afternoon here, but I wanted to come outside this afternoon. I finished work and I want to pick some things for dinner tonight. I thought this afternoon is a perfect time to harvest all of the corn behind me. I've had a little bit of mixed success. I have picked a few so far, and I will actually show you what one of them looks like. It's very disappointing. One sec. Very sad looking corn, but this is what I just picked, and it is a very sad looking cob. You can kind of see it hasn't pollinated at all, except like I think 3 or so of the kernels have actually pollinated. Corn pollinates through wind, so that's why you have corn growing in grids, so that it can all mix in with each other and the pollen can fall on the silks of the corn cobs and then pollinate it. But the primary time for pollination for me was when we had just rain constantly, when we had flooding around. So unfortunately, my corn didn't pollinate very well at all. But I think there are a few cobs in there that turned out okay. So I'm going to pick them all and just have a look and see what they look like. And then I am going to be planting my broad beans where the corn is. I'm not sure whether I'll get around to that today though, but I'm going to be using the corn stalks as a support for the broad beans. I'm just going to see if this works okay or not. We'll see as the broad beans grow. But I think it would make use of the corn that is already there. I can just cut it halfway so that it's not blowing around too much, and use the corn stalks as a little bit of a support. So I'm going to head over to the corn patch, see if we can get something a little bit more than this for dinner. We're having burgers for dinner, so I like to have a few veggies on the side. And I'm also going to pick some greens in the garden and also just have a nice side of healthy greens. So I'm excited to see what we can get from the garden today. I'm hoping that the cobs in the middle of the patch pollinated a little bit better, so I'm going to pick one of those first and see what they look like. Yay! This is more what I'm talking about. So this is a sweet corn. It's a bicolor variety, and you can kind of see that there are different colors in this corn cob. You can eat sweet corn fresh from the shops. I probably wouldn't do this, but homegrown, I know exactly where this corn is grown, what's gone into it. It's all organic, so you can eat sweet corn fresh, or you can cook it up if you don't prefer the really crunchy texture. But I absolutely love sweet corn, so I'm going to pick the rest of these and then see what we've got. It's just decided to sprinkle a little bit. I feel like the corn is just bringing rain energy, but I did manage to pick most of the cobs here. There's a few more on there, but those were the largest. So I'm just going to peel back a few of them and see what they look like, just because I'm interested in how much food we're actually going to get from this little patch. As you saw when I was picking them, they're really simple to harvest. You just want to break them down nice and hard so you don't snap the stalk if you want to use it like a support like I am. And then another thing you just want to look for is that all of these silks have dried off, and that means that it's ready. Another thing that you can also do to tell if it's ready, which does require peeling it back a little bit, is peeling it to where the corn kernels are and actually just piercing them. And if what comes out is a little bit more cloudy in color, in transparency, then that means it's also ready and the sugars have matured enough for it to be at its optimal picking time. If you do pierce it and it looks a little bit clear, then you just want to wait another week or so. Alright, so I also wanted to just grab some greens for dinner. So I'm going to go and grab some tatsoi, maybe some pak choi, and maybe a little bit of kale. We'll see what I can find so that I can cook up as a side for our dinner tonight. So it's the next morning now and I'm not really awake, hence why I'm in my nice fluffy warm jumper. And I'm outside this morning because it's actually my Ulma's birthday today. And I have a really busy day today, but I am going to go see her at the nursing home, and this is her garden. For anyone who doesn't know, this is her house where we're living, and I thought it would be nice for me to come outside and go and pick some flowers from her garden. There's lots of bird activity going on, but I thought I would share the flowers that I'm picking for her just to show you what is growing in the garden right now. Right, this is the little posy that I put together for Ulma. I don't really have a lot of flowers in the garden right now, but I think what is in here she's really going to love, particularly these little daffodils. I had to keep the daffodils separate to the other flowers in the jar just for a few hours because the sap of daffodil and any like narcissus flower can kill other flowers a lot more quickly if they're in the same jar, if you put the stem straight in the same water. So I think it's really pretty. I've got a lot of beautiful cosmos, some zinnias. These smell amazing, which she's really going to like. So I'm going to put this on her little desk that she has out in the living room of the nursing home. There's also some lavender in there and just things that just look really nice and move around a little bit. I'm trying to make it a little bit more sensory because she does have dementia, and adding different scents and different like wispy things that move around is going to catch her attention and focus her a little bit more on the flowers. And flowers are definitely a positive thing, so that's what I want to encourage when I go and visit my Ulma. So I think it is a nice little bouquet, so I'm going to take this to her. I've also got her like a little bee sting cake, which is like kind of a cake with almonds on the top and cream in the middle, and that's her favorite. Got it from the bakery that she would always used to go to, so hopefully she recognizes that and can kind of like focus her mind on that as well. So yeah, I hope she has a really good birthday today. So it's a few days later now, and Ulma really loved her flowers for her birthday, and we called my family and we all had a nice little chat and enjoyed some cake and flowers, which was really nice. We've also really been enjoying the corn, and I wanted to just wrap this video up and show you what the broad beans looked like where we planted the corn. I didn't end up filming it just because it was a little bit difficult on the day, and it's also been raining every day for the past few days, but all I did was pretty much just chop off the corn stalks. I left probably about like 60 centimeters on them, and then just planted the broad beans in a little bit of a grid. So I have 9 planted there, and the corn stalks will eventually die off. They're still kind of living a little bit right now, but it's just getting way too cold, so the plant will die off, particularly with not having any leaves or anything to photosynthesize. And as the broad beans grow up, I can just use some string to tie them to the corn stalks if they need a little bit of support, just because we get really strong winds here. But they're all kind of planted quite closely together, so hopefully that will be enough support for them. So I'll keep you updated on how this works. I've never grown broad beans before, so yeah, we'll see what that turns out to be like. I'm just excited to also grow them because if I don't end up eating the broad beans, then it'll just be a really great green manure, and I can chop and drop the broad bean plants, and that's just going to feed a lot more nitrogen back into the soil and organic matter, which is what I need because I have really clay soils and they do need a little bit of work, the soil. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you're all having a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and until my next one, happy gardening everyone. Bye.